Yeah.
If Jose Mourinho over the last 7 days complained about a dry pitch in a draw against West Brom and wouldn't shake the referee's hand 7 days later after a goalless draw against Stoke, I think we'd be hammering, wouldn't we? We'd be having a go at him.
I think we should have a go at Klopp as well for that. I mean, that's not clever. That's what kids do. That's what 10-year-olds do. You know, if you're going to go onto the field and shake the official's hand, then you do it regardless.
Right.
You don't act childish and look at the linesman and then pull your hand away. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous.
If you had that much of an issue, as you say, don't make a point of going on and shaking two officials and leaving one out. Don't shake anybody's hands. Or just go to the players, you know, but...
You know what you do?
That's petty.
You shake his hand because you've got him. And you keep a hold of him and you make sure you know, or he knows exactly what you think. That's what you do.
Barca then, 11 points clear at the top of the table. Impossible now to catch them. It's fascinating. This is a Barcelona side, let's not forget, in La Liga are undefeated. No team's ever done that in the history of Spanish football up to this stage. Yet the manner in which it's happened, the fact that we were pretty much crowning them champions at Christmas, couple that with the way in which they went out of the Champions League, there is still that kind of feeling that maybe they would swap with Real Madrid.
I'm not sure. Listen, league is your bread and butter. And as disappointing as it was to go to the Champions League in that manner, they got, I think, what was their most coveted prize. And then coupled with the fact, coupled where they started and the feeling towards Barcelona in August, it really has been a roller coaster of a season that I think before a ball was kicked, Barca fans would quite happily settle for.
But this is the dilemma now. This is the conversation now. Not that we could have had in August, now. This Barcelona team have won La Liga. They won the Copa del Rey, but there are Barca fans out there because in Spain it's the Champions League, you know. It is the highest trophy to win, who would swap places with Madrid.
I think it's unfortunate that all of these things have sort of come together. You know, the fact that it was pretty much over at Christmas, the fact that they go out the Champions League, but the fact that it's never been done, a team's never gone through La Liga undefeated. I think it's not going to be until this time next year, or maybe in years to come, people will sit back and realise just what an achievement this season has been.
It would be some record. And speaking of records, Lionel Messi broke another one today. 7 La Liga seasons in which he has scored more than 30 goals. It all started, of course, back in that 2009-2010 campaign. And from then, he has just kicked on. Pretty impressive from a man that Xhaka doesn't like. Meanwhile, Andres Iniesta picks up another title. Extraordinary. You take a look at that now. 34 titles for club and country, 9 La Ligas, 5 Copa del Rey, 4 Champions Leagues. Oh, yeah. And what about a World Cup and a European Championship as well to boot? We'll talk about the ramifications regarding Serie A in a moment and what happened between Napoli and Fiorentina. But let's just discuss this game as it was, Gab. It was something special with just so many different talking points.
Absolutely, Dan. I mean, the one thing, and I know we're going to get into the Orsato decision not to show Pjanic a second yellow. You have to the fact that, you know, they say cats have 9 lives. You evidently have 99 lives. The way they keep going and going. The Orsato decision, as I saw it, pretty much changed the game. He's a referee who has a reputation for letting play run on. They were correct in using VAR and changing the Vecino one to a red. This one, it's really hard to understand because he was right there. It was very obvious. It would have been his second yellow for Pjanic. And probably, you know, 10v10, we might have seen a different game. That said, again, you got to ask questions of Spalletti as well. Those substitutions, taking Icardi off, sending on Santon, who was clearly at fault, I thought, for certainly the equalizer to make it 2-2. Inter also contributed to throwing this one away.
It's all ifs and buts, Stevie, but the officials got it wrong regarding Pjanic.
Yes. They got that one wrong, but he got the first one absolutely spot on. In the end, these are the types of decisions that you need if you're going to win a title. You know, you can't always win titles by playing open, free-flowing football. You know, certain things have to happen for you, and there's no question that was a big decision in this game.
Gab, what was interesting after the game, Max Allegri completely losing it pretty much post-match, was asked about tactics and just kind of lost the plot slightly.
Yeah, it was really odd. I mean, I watched the two-way live. He was being grilled by a bunch of ex-players and ex-managers, including Gianluca Vialli, and he just kind of went out and he says, well, you guys talked about tactics and schemes and formations. It's pretty much all nonsense. If you have the best players, you usually win. He then made a parallel with the NBA where he said, you know, in the NBA, there's basically no tactics and schemes of any kind. It's just, you know, you've got 3 seconds to go. You give it to your best player and he goes one-on-one and shoots, which, I don't know. I kind of wonder about his understanding of basketball too. I don't know. It just seemed very odd because Allegri's a guy who's always prided himself on not just being a man manager, but also being a tactician. And I think it just shows how wound up he was after the match when he basically came out and said, stop talking about tactics. They don't matter. If you have the best players, you win.
You take a look at the run-in, boys. Any chance for Napoli?
No. They've had 2 chances to... Well, they've clawed back twice to Juventus, but no, not anymore.
No. I mean, it's still an easier run-in for Napoli. I think they can win all 3, but I don't think even that will be enough for them to close the gap on Juventus.
Gab?
Sure, it looks that way. I mean, you can see Juve possibly dropping points, maybe all 3 points to Roma, unless of course Roma are preparing for the Champions League final, which seems a bit unlikely right now. But all Juve need to do is beat Verona, who are basically down just about, and Bologna, who've got nothing to play for. So at home, so yeah, everything points Juve at this stage.
Let's just take a look at the table then. Juve, as we mentioned, 4 points clear of Napoli. Meanwhile, Roma with a 3-0 victory over Chievo at the weekend. Lazio winning as well. So it's those two now who are very much in the driving seat to finish in those remaining Champions League places. Not many left now.
Disappointing.
Marcotti, Mariner and Nico, of course, come together and submit their best 11. And then as a
Sacco!
result, you have the ultimate 11.
Sacco!
See the weekend, here it is. A lot of rookies on there, Steve. They're first-timers. I don't think...
Well, I've got a lot on there as well. There's only 3 that I never put in. That's Coleman.
Right.
I actually had Ward from Palace, who at 0-0
Right.
had a clearance, an incredible clearance off the line.
Incredible
The
clearance.
game.
Wow.
And I do believe that Mr. Sacco was at fault in that whole build-up to it.
Oh.
Liverpool's saviour, Sacco,
Yes.
gone to Bodley.
Yeah.
I didn't have Guy in. I had McCarthy from Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had the rest.
Mavropanos?
Yeah, I thought he was good. Absolutely solid today against United.
Didn't they concede 2
Yeah,
goals?
he did concede, but it wasn't because of him. I mean, he got thrown in at the deep end, and I thought he looked better in this game than either Koscielny, in particular, over the last few weeks. So he might have played his way into the team.
Gab, did you have, who is it you're annoyed at? Sacco.
I'm kind of curious because did you say you had McCarthy in there from Crystal Palace?
I did, yes.
You know he didn't play.
Oh, sorry. I always get my MacArthur and my McCarthy's mixed up. I do apologise. You've got me. You got me back your rights, Gab.
No, right, good. Sacco, did you have him,
There
Gab?
you go, advantage Gab.
Yeah. What was Sacco?
I did have Coleman. I did have Sacco too because he played a part in one of the goals. Yes, early on there was that messy situation, but they won 5-0. He's their defensive leader. That's pretty good.
But that would have
I mean,
totally
should we
changed
be
it. He made a
celebrating
mess
Uncle
of
Roy
it,
right
and
now?
if Ward hadn't bailed him out, they'd have been 1 down. The fans would have been on their back. The whole thing would have changed, or could have changed,
Are you looking up again?
because of Sacco. Yes, I am.
Stevie, they won 5.
They won
scored
5-0.
5 goals against
You're not
a
listening.
team that didn't want to be there.
You're not listening. You're not listening. If it had been 1-0 down, it could have changed the whole game. That's the point.
Yes,
and
and
I
if
keep looking at that thing again.
Sacco's ant had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. I mean, you know, it's.
Have another stab at it.
Oh, we agreed on Zaha. That's good, right?
Yeah. No, I
Wilfried
think,
Zaha.
do you know what was disappointing? You know what was hard this weekend, Gab? I'm sure you'll agree with me. Try to pick centre forwards. Other than Jesus,
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah,
particularly stood out, did they?
Well, Zaha basically played up front, didn't he?
Well, he played
with
off.
Townsend in that game.
And that's why I had him in my team as well, because I couldn't find anybody else that was any good. And
Well,
Dan's
he
gonna
played
fall
off
asleep there.
nobody because it was him and Townsend up front, and of course, Townsend's just a guy who runs in straight line and just shoots on sight. So he's not really center forward either. But no, but I agree with my learned friend. Did you have Peters in there?
Yes.
Oh, God. Surely
Tell you
we've
what,
done enough.
Salah, we didn't make that face for Gab. Nobody's kept Salah quiet.
no.
Nobody's kept Salah quiet. I mean, Peters did a good job, I thought.
That's
Was it his fault Salah missed the sitter?
Honestly, you have to me or something. Every time I say something, you totally disagree with me. I mean, I've upset you.
You upset me.
Not at all, not at all. I'm trying to create some team of the week debate because I know Dan enjoys it so much, and we
Dan's half
broadly
asleep.
agreed on the team of the week.
Dan wants to shut this down.
You two should get a room.
Right?
I've had
Shaka,
enough of
would you
this.
like to add anything? That's it. There can only be, 2 or 3 to go, these team of the weeks.
3.
One's a double week, though, isn't it? Do you do it on midweek ones?
No.
Oh, you are in 2.
All right, future. Can you finish this or no? You want to keep asking me stuff?
Oh, you keep talking.
All right.
ESPN Plus is our new exclusive home. Please join us there. Stevie, I'm intrigued. If someone had called you a specialist in failure, a voyeur, and other such comments over the years, would you be as friendly as Arsene Wenger's been?
No, not at all. I find it really strange. You know, it's not that he's having a dig face to face. He's actually coming out in public and making these sort of comments about Arsene Wenger. So if I'm Arsene Wenger, why do I want anything to do with Jose Mourinho? Listen, it looks lovely and they're all cuddling and shaking hands. But personally, if somebody had said those sort of things about me, I wouldn't want anything to do with it.
Look, I don't expect Arsene Wenger and Jose Mourinho to go out for dinner tonight or even share the bottle of wine with Sir Alex Ferguson at the end. But, you know, it's about celebration of Arsene Wenger's career. You see Sir Alex Ferguson come out to pay tribute to him. It's Sir Alex who actually calls Jose Mourinho out on the park. And I have no problem with Arsene Wenger kind of playing the part and accepting the gifts and accepting the pleasantries and moving on. They don't have to go partying after.
I would smile as well, but it would be gritted. My teeth would be gritted together.
Welcome to Extra Time. During the big show, we talked about the Romanian player who proposed this weekend with a message, and I promised then to talk to you about the way you proposed to Mrs. Hislop, but I'm afraid you're going to just shut me down, Shane.
I will. Mrs. Hislop would approve of my contributing.
Do you like to keep it private?
What's a very
She would like to
private
forget
moment.
it.
That's fair enough. Well, but some people like to tell people how they did it in a certain way.
Yeah, but
Well, Harry Kane had his film, didn't he, when he
why
proposed
do,
to
you
his
want to
missus?
why do you want to keep this conversation alive? You've got no interest in it at all.
Right.
Neither of us.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does anybody really care?
Aye.
No, nobody cares how
What
you
did you do?
propose.
Does that ever stop us talking about anything on Extra Time?
No, I know. I'm
did
just
you
talking
do
about
then? No, I don't want
in
to talk
general.
about
In general, do you care how somebody proposed? No, you don't. It's like showing somebody a wedding video. You don't do that. Nobody wants to see a wedding video. It's just a sensitive subject, clearly. Move on.
When is Shaka going to stop being ashamed of his Trini accent and speak in his home accent like every other pundit?
This guy, he
you what.
says that exact tweet every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, he's never listened to Shaka on the phone talking to one of his Trini mates. You can't understand a word. I can't understand one word there.
So then what happens? You make a conscious effort not to speak like that with us?
I have to slow down, yes. It's not necessarily conscious. I've been away from Trinidad that long that I just naturally, when I'm not speaking to Trinidadians, I slow down a lot.
So when you go home to Cornwall, right, you start there talking like that there.
It's Cornwall comes on every now and then.
So you go home there, you start talking like that there all the time there, like.
Yeah, I do, definitely.
You do?
Yeah, you must find that when you go to Scotland.
Yeah.
You must become...
I find even when you're talking to Craig, your accent changes.
No, we definitely do. You want to hear us after a couple of pints. Oh my God.
Oh.
So I believe. So I've been told.
Gab's accent gets a lot of abuse as well, doesn't it?
Well,
Gab speaks about 6 languages.
Well, yeah, because people say, like, what's the weird American guy you have on? I don't know, I would assume that's Gab.
Yeah,
Gab goes home.
That could be anybody.
Does he start talking broken English Italian?
No, you know what I talk like?
Come here.
What?
I talk like Chef Boyardee at home.
Who's he?
I believe that. I can believe that.
That reference went right over your heads. Except for Shaka,
Thanks,
who of
Gab.
course is highly
No, I
educated.
didn't. No, I didn't. He makes packet food, all right.
And Steve is our local. Steve is our local expert on packaged.
Yes, well, I happen to know Gabriele
The authority.
very much prefers fresh food.
Right, okay, yes.
So there's no way he's opening a packet or whatever it was. Giardelli or no, what was it? Chef what?
I'm not even saying a thing.
I have a friend.
Oh, good, Dad.
Well done.
I'm pleased for
Is
you.
he from Cornwall?
Well, Dad. Nice, Dad. Congrats, man.
Hello.
About time.
Who's a Liverpool fan, saying that he would have liked to win the Premier League this year instead of the Champions League. Your thoughts?
I would agree 100%.
Right,
Yes, absolutely.
really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because we haven't won it for what? Years.
Well, you were playing the last time they won it.
Yeah.
It was that long ago.
Yes, I would prefer to see Liverpool. Certainly, the question is about this year. Yeah, if I was to choose between the Champions League and the Premier League this year, I would choose the Premier League.
Okay.
Get that monkey off our back, and then we can go and try and get another Champions League.
Pep sold Zlatan, Eto'o, Toure, etc. in their prime. No one talks about it. All the FC crew bother about is Mourinho sold Salah and De Bruyne.
When Pep sold those players.
Can I talk about this, Dan?
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
Gab.
go ahead.
Yes, go on, Gab.
You take it, Dad. You take it, Gab.
You actually went through the trouble. No, I already responded to this guy on Twitter because it seemed like such a silly thing. Now, with the first proviso about beating Mourinho over the head again and again over De Bruyne and Salah, it is a little old.
How many
But the
provisos
reason
are we going to
you
get?
the reason people talk about this is that it happened relatively recently, whereas with Pep, it happened a long time ago. The other reason it's a bit different is Salah and De Bruyne were both young players who, for whatever reason, weren't deemed up to snuff and sold. Whereas in the case of those three gentlemen that he mentioned, one of them, Samuel Eto'o, had an expiring contract and wasn't going to extend it. One of them, Zlatan, had a big row with Pep and decided to demand it to leave at the end of the year. And the third guy, Yaya Toure, was 27 years old, and his place in the team had been taken by a guy named Sergio Busquets, who I think most would agree was pretty darn good as a defensive midfielder. So no, it's a completely false parallel.
Gab, let's get some Italian questions going, shall we? How much do Juventus have the refs to thank for winning Serie A yet again?
Oh.
Look, given that it's Juventus and given that what happened and Inter fans, of course, referencing it before the game on Saturday with a giant banner with Pinocchio on there and 35 and whatever else, it's inevitably going to be an issue. But on this one, I genuinely think Orsato made a mistake. He's a referee who tends to let play run on. If he was going to be part of some big conspiracy, there's 101. And that's that. I think sometimes you just have to accept it. And it's going to take a while for Juventus to shake what happened before. But, hopefully we can kind of look at this in the cold light of day and not keep harking back to Calciopoli all the time.
Here is an age-old question. We'll start off with Gab. Do you agree, after a long time, Serie A has shown more excitement than the Premier League, and can we see this more often?
Juventus shade it for me. as the
Well,
best.
Ali Moreno's just walked in.
Hey,
Ali, come here.
hey,
and
come
say
here.
hello.
Extra
Look at
time.
this.
Come on.
What kind of part-time thing is this? You can't just show up for extra time.
Ah, you haven't got a mic on, so
Fourth substitution.
You're going to have to use visuals.
Hey, you can talk into me.
Yeah, good man.
Gentlemen, I miss you so much.
Hey, Ali, how are you? How are you?
Where have you been?
Doing a game, maybe I was
Hey.
working.
Wow.
Perfect timing. Ali hates the Premier League.
Do you agree that Sarah... No, let's not go over all this again.
No, that's not.
No.
Hey, what happened to Napoli? I thought they were back in the race.
Well, yeah, but they are winners still.
They've already won. They've already won in our hearts.
Are you back tomorrow, Ali? Ali's Awards?
Yes,
Ali's
yes.
Awards
Hey, yes.
tomorrow.
That's what I was doing.
Everyone's been talking about their proposals. How did you propose to Melissa?
Oh, shush you.
FC is back tomorrow. Just a reminder, ESPN Plus is our new exclusive home.